Hi everyone! Welcome again to Math Den. Ang topic naman natin ngayon ay tungkol sa compound interest of more than once a year. So ang ibig sabihin nito is ang rate of interest ay i-apply natin more than once sa isang taon. So yung mga previous topic natin at saka previous example natin, yung rate of interest ina-apply lang natin sa isang taon or tinatawag na annually. Pero dito sa topic na to, i-apply natin siya ng more than once a year. So, ibig sabihin, pwede siyang 2 beses sa isang taon, yung tinatawag nating semi-annually. Pwede rin siyang 4 na beses sa loob ng isang taon, yun naman yung tinatawag nating quarterly, or pwede rin siya hanggang 12 times. Ibig sabihin naman nun is monthly, so 12 times in a year. So, ito yung mga general formula na gagamitin natin sa topic na to. So, if we're going to compute for the future value, so ito na yung formula natin. So, we have F is equal to P times the quantity of 1 plus R over M raised to MT. So, this is and also derived from the original formula natin na 1 plus r raised to t. So nadagdagan lang tayo ng m kasi yun yung compounding periods kung ilang beses i-apply yung rate. So again, ang f natin is future value. Ang capital P is the present value or the principal amount of money. So R natin, alam natin is rate of interest annually. So that is for annually. Then, M is the compounding period. So, ang tawag natin dyan is compounding period. So, M is compounding period. And then, raised to MT, ibig sabihin, compounding period times the time in years. Okay, next. So, meron din tayong additional formula na same lang din siya dito sa part na to. So we have the F is equals to P times the quantity of 1 plus J raised to N. So yung J natin ay katumbas siya ng R over M. So ito siya. So annual rate divided by the compounding period. So ang tawag naman natin sa J is interest per period. Interest per period. Ayan. So yung N naman natin, so ito na siya. So ang N naman natin is total number of periods. So N is the total number of periods. So siya naman yung katumbas ng M times T. Okay, so we will encounter much of this formula later on. This is also preparation sa susunod pa nating mga topics after ng compound interest. Okay? Okay, so before we proceed to example number 1, ito yung listahan natin or yung table natin for compounding periods M. So binanggit ko na kanina, pag ang rate of interest ay na-apply once a year, so that is annually, M is equals to 1. So once a year, 1. Then, if the rate is applied semi-annually or twice in a year, then compounding period M is equals to 2. And then, if the rate of interest is applied 4 times in a year, yung tinatawag natin quarterly, ang M natin is 4. And then, pwede rin siya i-apply semi-quarterly. Ibig sabihin naman nun, 8 times in a year. Kaya ang M natin is 8. Meron din tayong tinatawag na bi-monthly. Ito yung every 2 months. That is 6 times in a year. So, ang M natin dyan is 6. Then last, pwede rin siyang monthly. So that is 12 times in a year kasi we have 12 months in 1 year. So M is equals to 12. Let's have example number 1 for this topic. So we're going to solve for the future value and the compound interest amount if the rate is applied more than once a year. Example number 1, find the maturity value. So that is F and the interest. So kahit walang nakasulat na compound interest dyan, mababasa naman natin siya sa bandang huli na compounded. So that is I sub C. If 10,000 pesos is deposited in a bank at 2% compounded quarterly for 5 years. Yan. So we have the principal amount of money, we have the rate, and we have the compounding period, which is M, and we have the time in years. So, highlighted ng ating given, i-write lang muna natin. So, we have the principal amount of money. So, that is 10,000 pesos. We have the rate, which is 2%. Kailangan natin i-convert into decimal. That is 0.02. Then we have the compounding period, which is 4. So kung bakit siya 4? Because that is quarterly. And then we have the time in years. So that is 5 years. Ayan. So we're going to find the maturity value and compound interest. So we have two solutions. I-divide natin siya into two. So solution number 1, or solution letter A, find the maturity value. Okay? So dahil given tayo ng P, R, M at saka T, ito yung formula na gagamitin natin. Pwede rin naman gumamit nito provided na isolve mo muna itong part na to at saka itong part na to. Okay, so we have F is equals to P times the quantity of 1 plus R over M raised to M times T. Substitute natin ang given. We have 10,000 pesos times the quantity of 1 plus 0.02 divided by 4 raised to 4 times 5. So pwede natin siyang i-input directly sa calculator or pwede nating i-simplify muna. So pwede siyang 10,000 times the quantity of 1 plus 0.05. So 0.02 divided by 4 is 0.005 times raise rather to 20 because 4 times 5 is 20. So the final answer for that is 11,048.96. So meron na tayong future value and then given na rin tayo ng present value, pwede na natin makompute yung compound interest. So for solution B, find the compound interest amount. So remember our formula, compound interest is future value minus the present value. So we have 11,048.96 minus 10,000. The answer is 1,048.96. So yung putal natin na 96, that is already rounded off na to 2 decimal place. Therefore, the maturity value is 11,048.96, and the interest is 10 1,000 rather 1,048.96 after 5 years. So that is example number 1. Next, we have example number 2. Find the maturity value again. So that is F. And the interest, again, that is compound interest. So mababasa natin sa bandang dulo. If 10,000 pesos, again, is principal money, the interest rate again is 2%. Pero ang compounding period is monthly for 5 years. So monthly, that is compounding period. 5 years is the time. So analyze ulit natin, i-rewrite natin ang given. So we have principal amount of money, 10,000. Again, we have the rate of 2%. So alam na natin na ang decimal niyan is 0.02. Pero ang ating compounding period ay 12 kasi siya ay monthly. And then we have the time, which is 5 years. So again, dalawa yung solution natin dyan kasi future value and the interest. Let's separate them into two. Solution A, future value is unknown. So pwedeng etong gamitin ulit natin or eto, provided na sasagutan muna yung J at saka yung N. So gamitin natin tong una, P times 1 plus R over M raised to M times T. Substitute ulit natin, we have 10,000 times the quantity of 1 plus 0.02. This time, this is divided by 12 raised to 12 times 5. So, i-simplify natin or pwedeng direct na siyang i-input sa calculator. Pag sinimplify muna natin siya, ganito siya, 10,000 times 1 plus, ito ay decimal na madaming decimal. So, katumbas siya ng 0.00166667. So, para maiwasan yung pagsusulat ng maraming decimal, pwede nang ito na lang yung isulat natin sa calculator. Pero, kung one-liner ang ating calculator, pwedeng isulat natin yung decimal provided na hanggang 8 decimal places. So, sulat natin 0.0166656 and then rounded off na yung panghuli, 7. Then raised to 60 kasi 12 times 5 is 60. Now, the final answer for that is 11,050.79. So, meron na tayong future value, given na rin tayo ng present value, pwede na natin makompute yung compound interest. So, we have solution B, solved for the amount of interest. So, we know that compound interest is future value minus present value. We have 11,050.79 minus 10,000. So the answer for I sub C is 1,050.79. Yung putal natin na 0.79, rounded off na siya sa 2 decimal place. Therefore, the maturity value is 11,050.79 and the interest is 1,050.79 after 5 years. Let's have example number 3 for this topic. So Chris borrowed 50,000 pesos and promises to pay with interest of 12% compounded monthly. How much must he repay after 6 years? So analyze ulit natin, ang 50,000 pesos ay principal amount of money, 12% is the rate, monthly is the compounding period, then must he repay, so that is future value, then 6 years is the time or term. Rewrite ulit natin ang given. We have the principal amount of money, so we have the rate which is 12%. So ang 12% in decimal is 0.12. Ang ating compounding period ay monthly, which is 12. That is monthly. And then ang ating time is 6 years. So isa lang yung pinapahanap sa atin, which is the future value. So isang solution na lang tayo. So solution, solve for the future value. So future value is equivalent to present value times the quantity of 1 plus R over M raised to M times T. Substitute natin, we have 50,000 times the quantity of 1 plus 0.12 divided by 12 raised to 12 times 6 years. So, pwede natin i-simplify ito at saka ito. Pwede siyang 50,000 times 1 plus 0.01 raised to 72. So 0.12 divided by 12 is 0.01. Then 12 times 6 is 72. So the final answer for F is 102,354.97. Rounded off na yung 97 to 2 decimal place. Therefore, Chris must repay an amount of 102,354 pesos and 97 centavos. So this is how we solve future value under the topic of compound interest that is applied more than once a year.